welcome you. Welcome to Marfoogle News. We welcome you. Welcome you. Welcome to Marfoogle News. We welcome you.
What is going on, guys? My name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. If you've never been here before, this is a live call-in show. In fact, the number is 224-400-MARF, which I will be putting in there in just a second. As well, we have a special guest, other than our real special guest. That would be the newest Marfoogle family member. This is Rosie Oogle, that is. She's sleepy. But, yeah, anyways, if you've never seen us before, we're going to go over all of the latest news. We're going to go over all of the latest rumors of what's going on, all of the chatter. We're going to go over what our military sources are saying about what's going on. It's going to get pretty serious at some point as well. We try to keep it positive. We try to push each other up. We try to not spread fear, but instead spread awareness, and therefore, I guess train you guys get past the fear and to be ready for anything. So I hope that is what ends up happening. First off, though, just want to say real quick, nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. It looks like we're already having some sort of buffering problem, so if you're watching the replay, hopefully you won't have to deal with any of that. But again, we're going to be going over a lot of articles. We actually back it up on marfooglenews.com. I'm actually going to bring in Dex. Dex is going to be my co-host. He also is going to be screening the calls. Dex, are you there, and can we do a sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here. And hello, Foogle fam.
So can you explain the website real quick as I pull it up?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually categorize all of the information that we share on the show on our website, and we put it together based on thumbnail. So if you go to marfooglenews.com and you look for the thumbnail of the show, you click on that, you'll actually see a list of all of the news articles that we're going to talk about. So we back up everything we say, and we basically put that together. And then at the end of the show, we will update it with all of the caller information. So anybody that calls in, all of their information will go right there on the website as well, marfooglenews.com.
And then, again, you have on the right side, if you guys want to support us in any way, you can do so here with any of the products that we work with. Again, that helps us build our agency. So, again, let's get into it. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to head over to chat here in a second. First off, obviously, we've got a crazy world ahead of us. A lot of people are finally coming around to the facts of what is actually going on. Again, let me add this. Let me add the phone number real quick so everybody knows where to call. I guess that is not here because of our last show. Let's see here. There we go. Boom, boom. And let's make that one just a little bit smaller. Boom, boom. All right, you guys, if you need to call, the number is scrolling right there, 224-400-MARF. Later on, it actually tells you what that is. I believe it's 6273 is MARF. And then if you guys, again, go to our website, you'll be able to follow along with us. Okay, so getting into the first stuff, we're going to pull in our special guest. We actually have Jacob Israel. We're first going to go over some of this because I'll probably end up asking him his view on it. We are also going to talk about the asteroid versus comet versus spaceship. Again, this is some weird stuff that is going on. Let's see here. China's proposed new assault carrier may launch drones from electromagnetic catapult. And it seems to me like this, I don't know if this is the same one that caught fire, but this is some new ship that they have. And it says new details have emerged in Chinese media about the proposed Type 07, or the LHD. It says a unique variant of that type of warship that would combine a helicopter carrier, a catapult aircraft launching system, and a docking area for amphibious landing craft. Sputnik was among the first to report on the new warship. So it sounds like this is their new assault carrier. Sounds like the same one that caught fire. I don't know if that is the truth there, or if this is a second one. But again, the one that caught fire was their newest assault amphibious carrier, which sounds like that this is the same one and the same. It says a request for proposals, or an RFP dated July 19, sought ideas for an amphibious assault ship with an electromagnetic launch system. EMPs. It says advanced arresting wires, a massive electrical power generation from a gas turbine engine, and a capacity to fly unmanned aerial vehicles. So, of course, this is literally the future. And I told you guys 2 or 3 years ago, I said the next conflict that we have will be bonkers, because it's not going to be humans. It's going to be robots versus robots. And that literally looks like what is going on. Or robots versus human, which is no fun. These things have deadly accuracy. They're literally, run by AI half the time now. And they can spot from miles and miles. You won't even see them coming. It says the Hong Kong-based South China Morning Post, the SCMP, reported on Monday that the Type 76 would likely measure 40,000 tons displacement, making it slightly bigger than the Type PLA Navy has already built 2 of, and on which the Type 076 will likely be based. This would also make it slightly smaller than the U.S. Navy's LHAs. It's designed for LHDs of the Wasp class and America class, which weigh in at 45,000 tons each. So I guess this is something that is not out yet, that is being built. So that's a big freaking ship. I mean, these things are massive. It says that this Type 76 would likely carry at least 30 helicopters alongside hovercraft and the land equipment needed by its contingent of hundreds of Marines. So one thing that I want you guys to think of is why almost all of the ships they're building are amphibious. Why do you need amphibious? Well, from sea to land and land to sea. What do you need land to sea, or sea to land for? Invasions. And I'm not saying that we're going to get invaded tomorrow, but I want people to realize they are setting us up, at least publicly, for some sort of combat with them. If you look, even last night, I was digging into what they're doing with Australia. Australia asked for an independent inquiry on what happened with the virus, and they cut them off and put 85% tariffs on their bar, basically screwing Australia over, because Australia said, hey, we want some independent third party to come in and look what you guys did. Now all of a sudden they're screwing over Australia. This is happening between all of these different countries, and it's honestly happening a lot. It says, based on these new descriptions, some better mock-up graphics have appeared on Sina Weibo. It says earlier attempts showed an angled landing area that didn't interfere with the email's path, but now they are shown in a linear arrangement. Moreover, now the mock-up is situated next to the Type 075, showing the similarities and differences. So these things are pretty much, these are insanely advanced ships. People do not give China enough credit, I don't think. Again, they have the money. They have the second largest budget in the world for their military, which I believe was $178 billion. So if they have American money, and we're talking about US dollars, they're spending with all of these side companies, and they've got the same scientists, they've stolen our technology. That's the thing. People say, oh, well, they can steal our technology, but it's still made in China. We're not talking about, knockoff earphones made in a factory that, are made out of cheap poisonous plastic here. We're talking about actual money being spent to get the best materials out there to actually make a vehicle that could destroy our vehicle. Since they have stolen a lot of our technology, which I assume we have some of theirs, obviously we have the better technology. So if they steal it and they've got the same technology, then all they have to do is, since they know what we have, is make a defense against that. So they kind of almost have a leg up. I don't know if I'm sure the U.S. has, they play kind of rock, paper, scissors with their technology, and it's always kind of a guess at which one's going to come up on the next one. But I would say it's 2020. It's way too kind of late in modern history. We're far more advanced than we were 10, 15, even 20 years ago as far as technology. It's kind of ignorant at this point to say that they're just completely crap. They can mass produce things. Like I've said before, if you have the most advanced American jet, it could probably see 10 Chinese jets from 10 miles away and get 5 of them, but it can't get all 10. If you guys see what I'm saying, it's like a UFC fighter fighting 11 people. He might be able to take 5 or 6 of them on, but the rest are going to get him. That's my opinion, and I've shown you there's pictures that are leaking. They have been producing way more, and I don't believe that that's their actual budget. I believe they're spending more because in the end game, I believe that they want to take over, and I believe that they're even teaming up with people in the U.S. government officials, which I guarantee you we'll see it end up buffering some more talking about that. U.S. Navy slams RYAN, and if you're a new viewer, I know that a lot of people fighting algorithms, not people. It says military drills in strategic Strait of Hormuz as irresponsible and reckless. Now remember, there's things that have gone around the internet for a very long time about the Strait of Hormuz. In fact, there was a theory that went viral, and it was actually from a very reputable person saying that his theory was that they would have an FF in the Strait of Hormuz, and it would basically look like something would be happening to one of our ships, and the aggressor would look like a certain country. Well, now we are on the last country of the 7 countries they wanted to take out, and everything is lining up. So I'll let you guys, get more into that deeper on your own. But it says, at the same time, Washington has repeatedly ignored Tehran's calls for the U.S. to stop sending its carriers to the Gulf, and its warnings that such actions only contribute to the escalation of tensions in the region, not to security. The U.S. Navy has criticized Iran's military drills that are taking place along the waterways in the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, adding that it is monitoring them closely. The American military further called the war a Iranian attempt to intimidate, coerce, without clarifying on whom or for what purpose. So another thing to think about is over there, they have a lot going on. Of course, side saying that Hezbollah and all of this, they found 28 missile sites and all of this. You've got this tit for tat. You've got a conflict going on, and it is a war at this point. And I don't understand why. It is. I mean, they're literally firing back and forth, destroying things. I don't know how that's not considered a war, but if it got any worse, people worry about the people that are backing both sides up getting into it via proxy and getting into WW3. We're talking about, Russia and China on one side, and then the U.S., Australia, and our allies, and Europe on the other. So it seems to me like it's every time they take something out, it's always an accident. That's exactly what's been happening over there. They actually said, both sides, every single time something happens, they say, oh, it was an accident, or it was their fault, or it was this, and it wasn't like this. They always take a little jab and then say, oops, it was an accident. Oh, it was a mistake, because neither one of them, I don't know if they're approved to go to conflict yet. Dex, do you think anything about that as far as they keep doing this stuff back and forth, but then they always say it was an accident, or they always blame each other? You can't really...
Yeah, I totally agree in the sense that it does seem like they're absolutely at conflict. And I don't know why, I guess they just avoid the label, because then that probably will escalate even to a greater level. Is the only thing I could think of.
It doesn't make too much sense sometimes. I mean, visibly, you'll see a skyline of just smoke, and it looks just like when we went to Shock and Awe back in 2001, 2002. It looks like they did airstrikes all over the place, but then they say, oh, we're not a conflict, it was an accident, or this was in response to that, and it wasn't, I don't get it. Either way, we'll have a guest on the show probably later this week that will explain that better. They know a whole lot more about the Middle East than I do. And then you've got China's spy tech. Again, it says a U.S. commission is warning that China is using Orwellian technology to monitor so-called extremist religious groups, including Christians. So I have actually talked to a few people that were staying there for a while, and they were Christians. They actually had random people that were not in uniform come up to them and ask them and say, are you going to continue to be a Christian and live here? And they're like, how do you know me? And then when asked, who are you? They say, well, don't worry about that. We're watching you. That was an actual statement from somebody, a streamer friend of mine, that I was thinking, that is really freaking crazy. Again, I would love, if you guys have lived there or if you know people that live there, I would love some more sources of people that actually live there. Of course, we have our other friend, Megan. She got out of there during the first lockdown. She actually used a VPN to get out stuff while the first lockdown was going on in, I think, January. Her audience actually helped, along with Green Bay Wacky and some other D-Live streamers. They raised enough money for her to not only get a cab, a train to a plane back all the way to back to her home country of South Africa. And then South Africa went in lockdown shortly after she got home. So went through a lot, but from her and others, we found out a lot of stuff about what they were doing over there. So I do partly agree. Obviously, China does not want people digging into what they did there, especially with what they covered and what they didn't cover. It says the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, or USCIRF, issued its warning on Wednesday following an interview of 5 expert witnesses who testified, quote, on technological surveillance of religion in China. It says in written testimony, Chris Meserole, Deputy Director of Artificial Intelligence and Emerging Technology Initiative for the Brookings Institution, exposed the extent of China's technological advances. It says no authoritarian state has leveraged digital technologies more successfully than modern-day China. It says for religious groups targeted by the CCP, the result has been devastating. As we know about all of the other, it sounds like this is starting to happen for a whole other set of people. It seems like everything is coming to a head. I believe that a lot of people say that, we're going to see the worst of it before it gets better, or we'll see 7 years of craziness. So it seems like we're basically at that point. With all of this being said, I think that we need to focus on what we've seen in the facts, in what they are doing to prepare. We, of course, have seen that they are preparing for some sort of EMP event, not only with the U.S. government signing documents to actually harden the grid. We've got the president. He actually signed that order last year. You had the Department of Homeland Security actually tell every single American. They recommended that we all have 6 months to a year of food on hand. And you have Peter Pry and other experts saying that China is currently, not 50 years ago, not 30 years ago, currently putting together plans for some sort of EMP. Now, of course, I'm sure both countries, or all 3 countries involved here, Russia, China, and U.S., all have sorts of plans like this. But it seems like right now, if things are found out, or if they even frame things to have found out, the world is going to be very pissed at China. That's what it looks like is going to happen. It looks like once this inquiry is done, they're going to obviously find some stuff that the entire world doesn't, and then China won't have it. So I have a feeling that we're kind of getting at the precipice of this, and now the whole world is going to go back into lockdown. You're not following. Almost every single preemptive state is telling it all of the cases are spiking. Well, guess what? That means we're going to go right back into lockdown. They're talking about mandatory vaccines. They're talking about everything. So this is a big deal. Everything that's going on right now, it seems like there's some thing hanging there. If you guys want to protect yourself, we have told you guys for over a year now. That's why we actually reached out to EMP Shield. I would recommend, even if you don't go through us, if you do go through us, it helps our channel. But even if you do not go through us, you should be looking into an EMP Shield. This is what was mentioned by that DHS EMP resilience report. By name, these guys have worked with DHS, they've worked with DOD, and now they are officially on the DEMSO team protecting the Texas grid, or helping protect the Texas grid. This actually protects against all three phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3. This is what we need to have on our houses, our cars, our generators. If you have a bug out spot, what good is it if you can't get there? And if you have all a house full of supplies and things like this, if they're fried, highly recommend it. Okay, let's get Jacob Israel in here. We're gonna get
Adam.
Jacob Israel on the phone. Again, let me shout out to some of the chat here. We've got Mersa1, thank you for the Ninja Guinea, I appreciate that. Miss Jackson 906, Dixie Doe, Johnny Rax, Cutthroat Mom. We've got Philbilly, Grace for you too. Hi, awesome Foogle fam, Channel Jammer. Thank you for gifting subscriptions out to a ton of people there. All Paula 9, thank you. World News, Luna Soul, Tartan Granny, PMC 2020, Jen Lay Awake. I'm assuming Baldy Locks is here as well. Thank you guys for both watching all the time. I really appreciate all of you. By the way, before we bring Jacob in just momentarily, I did end up going to the ER, and I just wanted to shout out. I won't say anything about them, but one of the check-in people, one of the nurses there, was a Foogle family member, and she was incredibly smart, incredibly sweet, and she ended up coming over and basically being very polite and saying, hey, I'm a fan, which I always try to say, you're fam, not fan, but she ended up talking to me about 10 minutes, then I got back into ER. I got checked out because I hit my head. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's kind of a lump here, and I was having lots of pressure on, in my head, and I wasn't talking straight, and then I got nauseous right after I hit it. So obviously, if you ever have that happen, you want to go in and get a CT scan, or most of the time if you hit it hard enough. I went like totally black for a second, and then got knocked on my butt. Basically, what I hit is the lift gate of the truck has two windows, so it splits in the middle. So it's just a piece of glass. It has no frame or anything, and I couldn't see it, and I just walked right into it. So it was really dumb, but at the same time, anybody could have done it. But I ended up going in, and I ended up speaking with her for probably half an hour. She ended up, after her shift was over, coming back. Her and her husband, she worked at the hospital for 34 years. And again, she told me some stuff. I'm not going to repeat all of it, but I did get a different perspective on what she said she saw. Again, she said she saw back all the way to December, January, the worst cases of I guess, what do you call it? Pneumonia. So that's because before they didn't know what it was. And she said that she saw pneumonia in their 20s, and that it was permanently affecting their breathing. And since she is one of the check-in, people, she sees them coming back and checking in, and she was pretty amazed by that. So again, she's a big fan. She's totally with everything. One thing I loved, though, is I know by what she said, she disagrees with some of the stuff I say, but she still loves the show. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, we don't have to agree on everything. And she told me that she has had some people that have left her out of her life just because of some of the decisions she make, including the fact that she does wear masks. So again, that's kind of crazy to me since she is kind of more, right leaning. She also talked about Trump derangement and some of the others. We're in Washington. We're in the worst place for that. Like, people just go nuts. They start screaming. I've had 2 of my sisters start screaming out of nowhere just because the name was brought up. So they're in my family. They're everywhere around me. Again, I understand if you do not like the president. I'm not, I'm not a super fanboy or anything. But again, I don't see why we can't get past that and have both sides come together and people get kind of stuck on it. That's what I don't understand, is you have to scream and say he's so many this and this and that. But for 4 or 3 years, I've said we don't talk negatively about anybody. And it's been a really great spot to hang out, as you guys know. So if they're not right here in front of us, we're not talking badly about them or behind their backs. That's my thoughts. Even if they, if they're a president, you can say your piece on it. But again, why has the world changed like this? And that's what really bothers me. Jacob, you are live on Marfoogle News. What is going on?
You got to be kidding me. I'm on Marfoogle. Really? The Foogle fam is in the house, and I'm on the show live.
What is going
now?
on? Yes, Jacob, you are live on Marfoogle.
Well, I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much. My goodness. It's like I'm visiting friends. I love it. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Jacob. How are you? And everybody, let me just ask you guys, make sure if there's any issues with sound, if you can't hear Jacob or you need me to turn him up, let me know. I have little bars and things, but sometimes they're off. They say...
Yeah, I worry because I don't have the best reception right now. Thank you, AT&T. But if you can hear me, I'm happy to be on.
Well, no problem. They also say that we're buffering, but that's probably because of the subjects. I was just on Israeli News Live, and I hope you guys know even Israel is actually a word that's filtered here. So it's like no matter what I say.
Oh my goodness.
No, I think it's more like that video.
Like me. They don't like me, Marv.
I don't know what it is, but so I wanted to ask you about your thoughts on Neowise and on the comets and everything else. I know that you're on a different page, but on the same page too. I kind of feel like there's something up here.
Yeah, it seems like, right. It seems like we talked about this the other night. It seems like we're on the same page, but we got there 2 different ways.
Exactly.
I'm very fascinated with any heavenly show. We have two meteor showers that are peaking tonight at midnight. 2 of them at the same exact time while all this is going down.
Isn't that weird?
Crazy.
At the same time.
Yeah. At the exact same time. I mean, I don't know how infrequent that is. I mean, I don't know if it seems like it's more of a rare event. It's the the Delta Quarids and the Capricornids or something? They're coming together at the same time. They say it's going to be a great show. And why wouldn't it be? You got the huge, you got a bunch of stuff that we didn't expect to be there that's there. So it's fascinating to me. Neowise is it took me and a lot of people by surprise, but not so much, I guess, for me, because I kind of felt like something was coming. I just didn't expect it to be like the day after I posted the video saying something was coming. I didn't expect it to be that quick. And then there it was. But just Neowise itself, the word neo, near Earth object, neo, new, wise, wisdom. So, this is exciting for me because you have these heavenly, we'll call them like heavenly messengers, if you will, something to draw our attention to something that's otherworldly. It's kind of like if you didn't have these strange events or these rare or mysterious events, you wouldn't question if there is more to life to begin with. And this comet, if it's a comet, I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it. I've only seen it in the distance. Whatever it is, I feel like it's special. And I do feel like it's coming at a point in history where mean, my goodness, we need something like this. I've been on my channel saying, buckle up for years, because about 5 years ago, I kind of made a 180 in how I was sharing. And I felt like I needed to get everybody ready for the days that were to come, because it's, if you look at life, like, let's just say, for example, that there's a creator that created everything, right? That we live in this world, and we'll say that this was created by an artist, if you will. Well, if you look at the painting, you can extrapolate what perhaps is coming, kind of like watching a great movie. You watch the movie, and if you've learned symbols enough, and you've learned, the structure of, say, a cinema or a screenplay. Like, I've written many screenplays. I've done film. I've done TV. So as a writer, you understand when you watch a movie where it's going. And, and unless it's really clever. And so the world is this beautiful painting, this beautiful movie that we're all a part of. Every one of us is sharing the lead role, which is amazing. Everyone, we're all the center of this magnificent story. And guess what? People have become very, very distant. They live their life more like they're dead. They don't feel like there's any meaning or any purpose. I mean, you look at what's happening on the streets. You look at how divided everybody is. We're all, people have just been brainwashed and programmed to be very carnal and very bestial and very animalistic in nature, which is where you get that word, the beast, from scripture. And this is the reason why so we need these events. We need things like Neo-Eyes. We need big wake-up calls to snap us out of it. And a wake-up call is exactly what is on its way, in my opinion, And I just would hope that people would take the time to perhaps, I don't know, enjoy their life. Look at what they have, and realize that what they do for others, they actually do for themselves. And if they put their faith in more than just their meaningless existence that they've been programmed to think is life, then you're going to be okay. But if you're not, like when the flood came, it was the people that were in the ark that were okay. And on my channel, for the people that don't know about my channel, I've been talking a lot about, before the coronavirus, I started, forgot the words, Mark, sorry. But before that,
it doesn't really matter,
Egypt.
Jacob, it doesn't really matter. We've been knocked off since you've been on, and we've come back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it literally, it's been buffering ever
Terrible.
since. So the entire chat is buffering. It comes in and comes out.
Well, you know what then?
So I put it on.
It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be.
Well, no, I put it on your channel, so that helped a little bit. But what is going on, I have no idea. As far as it's cut out for me too.
Yeah, this happens for whatever reason. See, I mean, I'm of the belief that big things are happening, and getting that word out is important, and I'm of the belief that I'm part of getting that word out. So of course it would be buffering. I mean, maybe it's just not meant to be. In the grand scheme of things, whatever's meant to be is going to be. And if anything comes from this and people hear me at all, I hope that they understand that they're more than they think they are. You're not who everybody told you were. You're more. And you better start to put your faith in more. That's just my humble opinion.
Well, D-Live just went down. Everything right now. I don't know what is going on here.
Well,
it says 30 frames per second.
You know what I'm going to tell you, Adam? I'm going to I'll let you go, and we'll talk again, brother. Obviously these things are important. The things that I was about to share, very important. Getting everybody ready, very important. But, it's no big deal. No big deal. I hope people can check out the channel at least. Maybe when you go back on the air. I'll get off the air. I love you, man. I wish we could have talked more. I wish that, there was no hocus pocus going on.
Well, let me just see. I'm trying to fix it. Let's see here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything going. It doesn't seem like it. Let me close some stuff that we've
No,
already
dude,
read.
don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Get back to your show. Don't let my Don't let my
Well,
spirit.
it's not
rob,
like you. It's
you know,
the
the
whole
airtime.
thing. Dex, are you there?
Yeah, Adam, I'm here.
So can you tell what's going on here?
Yeah, it's been since the very beginning of the show. Every minute or so, it keeps dropping down in frame rate, and it's affecting both all channels for that matter.
And D Live went offline, and then
Oh yeah, D Live's they're both affected identically.
what did we say? We didn't.
It was from the
I don't
beginning.
think we said. Yeah, I don't think it was anything that we said. Like I was telling. I have a feeling that this is an important day that we're in. Like very fast approaching. So, of course, of course, because I was probably planning on sharing more tonight with you instead of I've been holding back on the show. Hey, listen, I'm gonna let you all go. This was
well, no, Jacob.
I apologize.
Well, it's not you, Jacob. Jacob, you've had your stream cut too. People are going to be mad if you leave.
Oh no, Oh, okay, I got you. I'll stick around.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm recording, so yeah. Let's just if it cuts out, it cuts out. We're still doing our show. We're still doing our stuff, and whether those platforms don't get to see it, then that's that. So just continue. Let's just between you and me, even if it disconnects completely. I'll record this and we can put it up as a clip. So just assume we're live.
It sounds good, man.
There's still 2.6 thousand watching on YouTube.
That's pretty remarkable. Yeah, the day that we are in is quite interesting. What we were saying earlier was the fact that you have the two meteor showers that are peaking tonight, which I think is fantastic. And then, of course, you have this beautiful comet, which is waking people up, snapping them out of their meaningless existence. Neowise, it's a term. It's come to me to be something that represents a new wisdom, a new day. It's kind of like in the book of, I think it's the book of Romans. It talks about how we don't yet know what we're going to be, but when that moment comes, it's a pretty big one. So it's kind of like an awakening that takes, hoping that all of this stuff is kind of snap people back into some kind of a spiritual maturity and get people out of their miserable existence. And I'm hoping that it's going to be something that's going to wake people up. But there's this other side of me, like we've talked on the phone about, where, it's not out of the realm of possibility that there are, other beings. A lot of people, I just did a show about these witches hexing the moon, which is just so goofy. But what was strange about that was the fact that everybody was Googling Artemis. And what was strange about Artemis is that the Hagia Sophia Mosque is now a mosque again. And they have the 104 columns of Artemis. And this is a big deal because, this was a very big Greek Orthodox church, and it was an interfaith place. It was a museum, and now it's this mosque, which, by the way, they opened service with like a sword from the Ottoman Empire about how now that they were going to conquer. So some people are taking it as it's this weird, spooky thing where it's going to be religion against religion. A lot of people don't know that in Scripture. Right now, we see a lot of ethnicities going against each other. That word ethnos, means ethnicity, and it doesn't mean nation against nation. You hear that very often when you think about kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation. It's people are going to rise up against other ethnicities, other belief systems, and that's the problem, is the division. And so we need this wake-up call to snap us out of it and bring us back to the truth. And that day is coming. There's this, in Scripture, maybe people don't understand that there's going to be this, they call it the 1,000-year reign of Christ. And just imagine that, you were a bad guy your whole life, and all of a sudden, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, right? It's kind of like you understand that there's more to life than being selfish, and you start to care for others, and you start to seek others, and then you start to have this relationship with something greater than yourself. And then you understand that, as Jesus said, I'm in the Father and the Father's in me, that you understand that you and God are interconnected, and then you kind of rise up. That's what the first resurrection is in Scripture. A lot of people think it's about literal people rising out of the ground like zombies, but we're already dead. The Scriptures say that in Adam all are dead, and that's the reason why we see people acting like animals, like beasts, attacking each other. So we need this wake-up call, but the problem is not a lot of people even believe in a creator or an architect or an artist or a God. They don't even believe in it. They think it's foolishness. And yet, I am having conversations now where I'm like, well, we have agencies that have now come out and say, hey, guess what? We got like trucks from like a different dimension or a different universe or a different planet. We got all these. So now we know there are other beings, other worldly beings that are far superior and advanced. In Scripture, they talk about, the sons of God that came down and they saw the daughters of men. And this is where you get the story of the giants and the Nephilim. So, in Scripture, it does speak very clearly about this other race, which I've come to know as the Anunnaki, if you will. I'm not saying that that's a legit thing, a definite thing that's going to really happen. But there's the connection with the Anunnaki, ironically, to Artemis, because Artemis and Apollo, you've probably heard of the twins. Every single god has come from another god. So, kind of like everything's kind of trickles down and people pick up the story and they just, tweak it to how they see fit. But so you have Inanna, which is an Anunnaki princess, which is the goddess of the hunt, right? So like the hunt is on. That's spooky. That's kind of interesting because you have Artemis now all over the news, which I didn't even know why I was going to talk about Artemis. But now everybody's Googling why are they hexing the moon and who's Artemis? And it just seems like you have all of these things that are lining up. This is a spiritual, we'll say a spiritual apocalypse that's happening. And
so it's
going to happen on a much bigger scale.
I do have a couple questions about, as far as, you've covered a lot of the stuff that I've covered as far as Oumuamua and some of the things that have come in, the interstellar visitor, and then Neowise coming in. And then the second that Neowise comes by, all of a sudden they announce that they have, they've actually, they may have, they may have a vehicle that was not made on Earth.
They do. Yeah, they do. They admitted it. They do. We're gonna get the full extent of it in a very short period of time. So yeah, coincidental, don't you think? Right?
Not. I think we were right.
Hey, when I started doing, now once again, we came, as Adam said earlier, if it wasn't buffering, we came from this from two different points of view. I came from it from a spiritual, I was not interested in aliens. I didn't care. I said, okay, yeah, they exist, whatever. I was always about sharing, what I consider to be the good news, which is called the gospel, which is the fact that we are more and that we've been kind of programmed to believe that we're not. And there's a resurrection that's going to take place. There's a judgment that's going to take place. And first it begins at the house of the Lord, which means us. But so here you have, this sort of race, we'll say the Anunnaki, which they come around every once in a while. Now, I was not interested in any of this stuff, but if people watch the channel, they know that I am kind of led a lot by inspiration. And I'll look at these things and I call them breadcrumbs where it's one thing after another thing. And when you start to see all these things lining up, you understand that, something bigger is trying to tell you something and you start to understand, oh, I get it. So I was getting a lot of this about Nibiru. I was getting all of this early on, but I was a TV time, the Christian Network before that. And I had a book coming out and I wasn't going to come on there and start telling everybody, okay, in about 5 years' time, the world is going to be completely unrecognizable. And there's this planet and it's going to come in and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't want to talk about it. But then it was like one thing after another thing. A buddy of mine who's a sci-fi writer, he wrote a book called Athlon. He was a big fan of my channel early on because I've been on YouTube since 2008, right? It didn't blow up. I only had like 500 subscribers. People knew me from my website. All my, I have these biblical essays and spiritual essays and insights and poetry that I've been sharing for years. And I was a TV writer and producer. And I would do these videos here and there, but I wasn't really known. It wasn't like a huge channel. So I get all of this coincidence that lines up. This guy, Bob, writes a book, and I'm like the lead character in it. And I didn't know it was about the Anunnaki and everything else, but he like literally put me in this book where I'm this guy who shares these weird videos and is kind of like, you know, connected to God and somehow becomes part of this epic story, which I didn't know at the time had to do with that. Then I had like another dream. Then I had a terrible nightmare. And then when I was in Florida, I just said, you know what, I'm going to do it, because I realized after enough, I should just put it out there, because I wasn't going to be like, you know, Jonah, where God's like, go to Nineveh, tell them that they're messing up, and tell them they better get their act together, which now I have no problem saying. But at the time, I'm like, I'm not going to say maybe there's a planet coming in and there's going to be a bunch of, you know, whether they repel each other. So could you imagine a huge planet coming in, outside of Neptune, still coming in, and, you know, through the Oort cloud and then into the asteroid belt, and it would be like, you know, shooting stuff all over the place. And then we have one interstellar visitor, and they name it Oumuamua, which means first scout arriving, you know, like scout arriving first. And then you get the next one, Borisov, which is like just the names, they held such significance, you can't help. And then here we have Neowise. But so Nibiru, I finally share the video, and then I'm like, all right, I did it, Lord, right? I did it. And then boom, the next video I do on that goes viral. And it was picked up by all these things. And next thing you know, I'm at like 10,000 subscribers. It started my channel. And I'm here where I am now because I finally submitted to all of this stuff. And so now when things come across me, I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I speak with a lot more authority now, a lot more boldness. People, you know, think it's a little kookadoo until, you know, I can kind of read their mail for them and tell them what's going on without them even knowing it. And it sounds a little nutty when I'm saying things like, for a while I was telling everybody about the rainbow that was coming to the ark. I was trying to encourage people. I'm like, those who prepared the ark, those who were loving, who were kind, who were genuine, those who at the last moment cried out to God saying, all right, you know, if you're there, I just want to know. I want to know. Notice I'm not telling you what to say too, because religion will give you a line. I'm saying all you need to do is just go to God. On my channel, I never tell people to come to me. I always say, you come to the well, come to Jacob's well, you're going to thirst again. You'll like it. It'll refresh you. You feel good about yourself. But if you don't put the things that I'm saying to practice, and you're not seeking the truth no matter what the cost, and you're not crying out to God, whatever you want to call that God, God reveals itself. He's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. And I've been seeking God without a shadow of doubt for my whole life. So it's no wonder that we are right here where we are. And it's no wonder why I haven't been saying some of the things. I've been holding it back. It's no wonder the show is buffering a little bit, because the days that are ahead, you think that what we've been through is interesting. It's going to get a lot more interesting. I'm just hoping that it becomes a pivotal moment in human history where we just get on our knees and we just cry out and we hold each other tight and we understand that we can together be better. And that's the beginning of that 1,000-year reign of Christ, where the truth wakes you up within. Neo-wise. It's a new wisdom. And right now, supposedly, Neo-wise is traveling into a very close constellation called Bernice's Hare. I think it's kind of interesting, because it was a story about how her husband, she was a queen,
I don't mean to cut
Egypt.
you off, Jacob.
And,
Jacob, if I can pause you for one second.
Sure.
I do want to call these people out before I get too behind, because as you may know, you do live streams. Adelasia Krieger, they have deleted a huge chunk of this vid. Again, I actually just wanted to update you as well, Jacob, that we are back up on DLive.
Oh, wow.
There's about 1,000 or 918 back on DLive, 2.7 or something like that on YouTube. But then Rock a Party JD, thanks for all you do. We need Marfoogle fam more than ever. Leslie Goth, you're buffering bad on both DLive and YouTube. So from now on, I'll just read out your name. If you're talking about the buffering, it's over. YouTube admin, EMP shield is expensive for me with solar, home, and car. I get that. That's 3 devices. But one thing I would say is wait for one of their sales when they do they do a discount on all 3. I know, YouTube admin, you've been here for a really long time. We're trying to help and do stuff for that kind of stuff. As far as Foogle fam, we've helped a lot of Foogle family members get it without, just get it. J.R. Palehorse, nobody in northeastern Colorado is following the governor's rules, not even the sheriff's department. We'll have to look into that. Google Canada told its employees to work from home until next July. So Doc Bill just said that Google Canada. So the actual Google Canada said work from home until next year. Matt Francis, I just want to thank Adam, Dex, and Mods. I feel at home here. Crazy. And they say YouTube news is fake news. Okay, well then show them our bibliography of real news then. Keep up the great work and God bless you all and your family. YouTube admin Marf, you're offline. Yep. Now, Vanny Dolies, keep your eyes open. Me and my zoo, thank you for following. Eddie28, my cousin, ex-military, saw your video with Stephen B. Says it's accurate according to his military sources. Eyes on Jesus. Venecchio Potasio, thank you and welcome back, brother. Sounds like something out of a Battlestar Galactica, Adam. Sup, Marfia. Louis C. Hey, fam, much love. Always listening. Well, drive my semi. Christian Moore, thank you. I'm sorry I missed you guys, all of you. Hey, guys, just asking for prayers. My little ones to be safe. They went to Cancun with the ex. Thanks, fam. Love you all. Christian Moore, I'll be praying for him. Jackie M, first time catching you live. Excited. Jackie M, I'm really excited to see you guys. Again, tonight's special guest is Jacob Israel. So if you guys are new from Israeli News Live, this is the other big Israel. So, again, sorry about that, Jacob, but I just didn't want to get that super, super far behind.
Not at all.
So hey,
I was so excited to see the two of you together, you and Israeli News Live. That was like awesome, man. I was so proud of you.
Well, he's a legend, right? The one thing too. So do you?
He is.
Do you remember when I covered the moon? A lot of people, you remember this. I'm sure everybody was talking about how YouTube went down, and there was possibly a video of somebody from the military saying that they essentially that there was a video that went viral and it went live and it was trending. It was on the trending page. It was like 3 or 4 on trending. It was like 2 hours old or an hour and a half or 30 minutes, whatever it was. And it was already at 300, 400,000 views. And it was a gentleman in military attire, and he was talking about something hitting the moon. He says he's like all panicked, sweaty. He's saying, and it seemed real. People said that his uniform, everything was real. He said that it's not the Earth that's in danger. He said it's not the Earth that's in danger. They know, and he's like all freaking out. They
satellite, know Artemis.
Something's going to hit the moon. Something's going to hit the moon, and then if we lose the moon, we lose everything else. And then YouTube shut down, and they said that video had to be scrubbed from the internet. Was the claims, right?
Right.
As far as what do you think about the moon being destroyed, and do you think that is a possibility as well, as far as like all this stuff going on, and everybody? Oh well, and wait. And then everybody going to Mars right now. We've got multiple countries going to Mars right now. All of them at the same time. Why?
Right. Well, one of the reasons why everybody's trying to get to Mars, or at least this is what they're saying, is because right now Mars is very close. So by the time they would get out there, Mars would be close. So it saves a lot on fuel, and that's what they're saying. But the moon is, yes. So I rambled on a little bit about Artemis and how I did this program just recently about that. And then I just did my last program, which if anybody wants to check out, it's up there now. And it's about how these witches, supposedly these baby witches, hexed the moon. Now, why this was interesting to me was not like it's all spooky hocus pocus, but why did they pick it up and make such a big deal out of it? Like, why was it, trending, and why was it? Because it's so silly. But it got my attention because everybody was looking up the goddess of the moon, Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, the moon. And here you're bringing up the moon. So, yes, Adam, I think there's something that has to do with the moon. I don't know what it is because it's all speculation, right? But I do know it's going to be a very pivotal moment. I mean, and it's interesting because today begins for those in the Jewish faith or the Orthodox faith, or those that just follow the holy days, as they say. It begins Tisha B'Av, which is the morning of the destruction of the temple, the destruction of the first and the second, and then the expulsion of God's people. It's kind of like, okay, guess what? Now's your wilderness journey. It's kind of like the same thing that happened when Moses finally set everybody free from Egypt. Guess what? I did programs about, like I said, the plagues of Egypt, and I talked about how you have this one, then you have the 3 days of darkness, which, by the way, we've just come out of. And ironically, the only sign that the unbelievers get, I get this question a lot. We're like, well, how come you're always talking about these interesting signs? Well, there's no sign that's given but that of the prophet Jonas, and that's true. But that's the only sign that's given to the unbelievers. We're actually taught, those that have faith, to look for the signs. Jesus condemned people for not knowing the signs. He says, you look at the sky, when it's red, you know it's going to be a beautiful day. You look at the wind kicking up, you know if the storm is coming. How can you not look at the signs of the times? It's like people, how can you not look at everything that I was talking about earlier, this beautiful painting, this beautiful movie that we're all in, and see it all working together, right? You all know something's coming. What's coming? Deliverance. That's what happened. You were set free from the system. Can't go to your job, can't do this, can't do that, right? It's very interesting. So, but there has to be another woe. It's like one woe's passed, then you had all the stuff that went down for how long, right? And now after 3 months, I was in lockdown for 3 months, which is interesting because the son that's given the unbeliever is as Jonah was in the heart of the earth, as Jonah was in the belly of the great fish for 3, it says days, but that word means periods of time. So minutes, it's just a period of time, but it's 3. As Jonah was in the great fish, so shall the Son of Man be. Now, if it is the Son of Man, it is man's child, which means it comes from within man. The Son of Man, like I'm a son of a man, you're a son of a man. They'll be in the heart of the earth. Now, we've come out. It's kind of like now. So what I did was on my program, I started to really preach what you would say is repentance. Okay, guys. Okay, now it's time to get your act together. Now it's time to seek the Lord. Now it's time to love. Now it's time to forgive. Now it's the time to take care of yourself, take care of those around you. Now it's your time to give love to the fellow man. I said, because the next thing that's coming, he said in 40 days, I didn't do that video that long ago. He said in 40 days, destruction will come to Nineveh and it'll rain down and it'll be like Sodom. It's a spooky thing, right? But the good news is he says it, he preaches it, and there are people that listen. There are people that go onto their knees and actually in Nineveh's day, what happened was the king declared a fast. And he said, you know what? It's time for everybody to, this peace. And actually in Nineveh's day, what happened was the king declared a fast. And he said, you know what? It's time for everybody to, be better. It's time for everybody to put down their weapons, and it's time to start, sowing love into the earth. And so he repents of it. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. The fact that this is Tisha B'Av right now, and the fact that, you have the Haggai Sophia, the mosque that is now, it's almost like Artemis's temple, which was one of the 7 wonders of the world, is now up and running. Is that a good thing? A good thing for another system, perhaps. I don't know if I think it's man's, but it is what it is. So maybe something's going to go down with the moon. Maybe that's the reason why the witches were hexing it. And maybe that's the reason why all these, they know, so they're putting it out there. And maybe after things happen, then people will start to put more of their faith in this nonsense, which it is. It's nonsense. Fear. It's nonsense. The only thing that's real, the only thing that's permanent is love, spirit of love. That's why God is love. And I think it's all going to work out, Adam. I do. I go on these little things because I don't even know if you can hear me, brother.
No, we're all listening. Jacob, I wanted to I wanted to thank you for coming on. I also wanted to ask if you wanted. We went a little bit over time because we've got to finish out the news and then get the calls in. Is there one thing that you would want to leave with people as far as a favorite statement or a favorite poem or something? Because I know your poetry is something that a lot of people follow, or something else. What would you like to leave the audience with?
Actually randomly opened up to something, and I said, if he asks me, I'll read it. This is in the book of Romans, because I think that people should remember that whatever comes upon them, don't consider it a bad thing. So this is in Romans, okay? I consider not the suffering of the present time. It's not worthy to be compared to the glory that will be revealed within us. So where we're going, to even be upset with what you're going through tonight, it's not even, you can't even compare it to the glory of what we're going to inherit. Now you got to remember something. Here's the good news. God created everything and everyone. And the scriptures say that he finishes his creation in victory. So like those people that don't believe or don't have faith in what we're going to inherit. Because the creation, this is what I want to leave everybody with. The creation is waiting with eager longing for the revealing of the children of what we're going to inherit that's upon us. Because the creation, this is what I want to leave everybody with. The creation is waiting with eager longing for the revealing of the children of what we're going to inherit that's upon us. Because the creation, this is what I want to leave everybody with. The creation is waiting with eager longing for the revealing of the children of what we're going to inherit. The creation, this is
Okay, you guys, hold on. I don't know what is going on here. It's looping, but it's not my looper. That's... Okay, hold on. Something is going on here. Okay, let me see. All right, Jacob, are you still there?
Adam, we just lost Jacob. Do you want me to get him back on?
Yeah. I mean,
hang on.
He didn't get to say good. He didn't get.
Yeah. I want to get him back on. It looks like he fell off. Hang on.
Okay. He said it wasn't meant to be. That's not what it's about. And I actually, by the way, I didn't mean to put this up. I think what happened is that is so weird. I swear I heard a different voice other than I know that it was playing our voices, but that was weird. I checked and it's not. There was no. I didn't have the DLive thing open. We've had a lot of weird issues since we did that. The Israeli News live show. Just super weird. And I don't know why it dropped off and then came back like 10 minutes later. Like it totally went off of DLive. That was super weird. Super, super weird.
Okay, I
way,
should have him
hold on.
back in just a second.
By the way, just want to let you guys know. Somebody said no DLive just 2 minutes ago. Okay, I just want to let you guys know, if you are coming over from Israeli News Live, we normally have almost no problems. So I do appreciate all of the new viewers. We gained probably about 3,000 new people. And your first impression of the show is not going to be very good. So I apologize. We put a lot of time into this show, anywhere from 8 to 12 hours to do a single show. So it means a lot to us that, that you guys come back if you haven't already been ruined. Sound issues are the one things I can't stand when I watch something and I hear something playing or just scratching or that kind of stuff. I cannot stand it. So I wouldn't blame you if you just pressed unsub right now. And then little errors and things like this. This bugs me, especially when you have a guest, somebody who's respected, somebody like Jake Israel. It really irritates me. So, again, Jacob, are you there? Do we have you back?
I am, yeah. I am here, Adam. All good. Hey, listen, all good things This just means that this is an important show. What's going to be interesting is when people keep coming back to this and they start sharing this show in the next week or so because of things that were said on this show. You know what I mean? That's what could happen. There's always a reason for everything.
Yeah, well, we need to do some Jacob, we need to do some short edited videos together and go back and forth and just hit I think the future is 3-minute, 5-minute videos that you get the point across and you share it out, because nowadays even younger folks, even in their 20s, their attention span is about 2 minutes. So I think that if we want to get a lot of that stuff out, we got to I want to do more edited videos. I'd love to team up with you and all sorts of we need to get going on this because it's about time. But yeah, Archives of Truth says, no D-Live, love you all, #FoogleFam. Archives of Truth, thank you so much again for your massive support. You did not have to do a $100 super chat to say that, but thank you so much. Deer Hunt Nature, thank you, Adam Dex, and all for you do. I watch every broadcast on YouTube, but can't catch the live ones due to the time difference. I'm on East Coast in South Carolina. So much love to both of you and the Foogle fam. I'm in it with you all till the end. Thank you guys for being patient and dealing with this. This is not our normal show. Normally it runs all the way smoothly until the end, but it's not, and it's not Jacob. Maybe it's my internet. Maybe it's because we're going on at an earlier time slot. I don't know. Jacob, if we can finish off so we don't have another one of these.
I got you.
Go ahead. I apologize.
Well, no, brother, you don't have to apologize at all. I'm just so grateful that you want to have me on to begin with, and I'm just the Foogle family is just so loving, and it was top notch. I mean, if you look at a Pollock, it looks like it's a mess, but it's a masterpiece. So even this is a masterpiece, brother. And we are. And what I wanted to leave everybody with was this one passage from Scripture. It says, the creation waits with an eager longing for the revealing of the children of God. So it's kind of like there are people right now that don't know who they really are. And there are people that do know. And the whole creation, you see, it says, was subjected to futility, not of its own will, but the one who willed them to also be subjected in hope. So in other words, you didn't choose to be ignorant. You were subjected to ignorance when you were coming into this world as a baby, and then everything programmed you to say, your name is Adam, this is the way you believe, this is the way you dress, this is what you think, this is who you hang out with, these are your political views. You were formed in the dust of the earth, right? But not by, it wasn't you so much. You died, but it was because God also subjected you with hope. And that's what's coming out of here. So when Paul was saying, don't look at your present circumstances and worry, they're there to get us to something that's not even comparable. Because the whole creation is groaning right now. It's labor pains. This is all a birthing. That's the thing. It's not about, the world in terror and blah, blah, blah. We're already in the terror. We're already in the hell. Now it's time to get into the kingdom. Now it's time to get into that. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's so strange.
It is, Jacob. Well, Jacob, I wanted to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to come over. I know that a lot of people look to you for as far as the symbology of different things, especially I can't tell you how many emails I got after Neowise popped up. And then it was funny that the day before they said that they found they released that they may have, or they actually said they have a vehicle that was not made on Earth. The day before, my wife and I talked to you on the phone, and she did basically a dream session with you, told you how she had a dream of huge cartoony alien tanks dropping from the sky. And that was just so weird. And then the next day that news came out. And you thought of it the same time as I did, I'm sure, right when you heard that headline.
Well, I'm getting a lot of strange feedback. So I'm kind of actually hearing everything being replayed in a delay in my ear, which is strange. So I don't know if you can hear me now.
That's all right. Well, hey, Jacob, I love you, man.
Buddy, I
gonna
love
fix
you.
all that.
Now I can hear you. I love you. I love your whole family there. Yes, it was interesting talking with your wife, who you put on speaker. You should tell everybody how you're like, well, the spiritual stuff, I don't really know. And I was like, well, maybe she just had a weird dream and she doesn't usually dream. And maybe you should start to tell. And so all of a sudden you have this beautiful moment. And then she shares this incredibly prophetic dream. And I do think that it's connected. I got to tell you.
It's freaky. Well,
all right, bro.
Well, Jacob.
It is freaky. I'm going to leave you to tell them that story because it was beautiful. I'm used to it. Most people aren't. But yeah, there's more. And sometimes things are miraculous, even in everyday conversation. And I'm sorry that we had so many technical issues, but it's, obviously it's an important topic. Everybody, God bless you all. Thank you, Adam. God bless you. And I'll talk to you soon, brother. Okay.
All right. Well, you have a great night. Jacob Israel, thank you so much. That was, again, Jacob Israel. His information will be on our website, marfooglenews.com, along with all of the other callers. Let's see here. We are now... Unfortunately, I don't know what happened with today. This is not how we do our shows at all, ever. So I don't know what the heck happened there with this whole thing. So obviously something is going on. Let me go over to the folks who did. You guys are awesome. Rose to the Moon. Thank you for being here. To Charm, Chris 27 or Cries or Crystal Chris 2797. Thank you for gifting a subscription to Rose to the Moon. Chris 2797 just gifted a subscription to Foogle Fan, to Not My Childhood Sky, to Iggy Mom. Chris 2797. Thank you so much for doing all that. Desharm, thank you for donating a diamond. Solar Doberman. We've got Texas Ann, I'm assuming. Keep up the good work, Marf. Love your show. D-Live came back, says Gone Girl. Gone Girl, thank you for popping over on both sides, aka Archive. Angela 1609, thank you. James Huff, Renegade Petey. We've got Tower Bear, thank you. Super Duper Buffering. I'm not going to read those messages anymore. But if you want to say Super Duper back online, I will read those because it's just getting distracting at this point. I don't know what is going on. I really don't. I apologize. And from the bottom of my heart, I really do apologize to all the new viewers. We literally just got about 4,000 new people, 4,000 or 5,000 new people from the back and forth with Israeli News Live with Stephen Benoon. And then this happens, the first show back. So that's, it stabs me in the face. That bugs me. You guys know I try really hard to make this work here. Interdimensional interference, says Kaja Fly Girl. I hear that. Duck a Hawk, Gem, Blessed Eladia. Thank you guys. Blessed Eladia 54. Thank you, says 3. I'm a warrior. Tall drink of water. Jonna RN or Joanne RN. Thank you for following. Riding Free. NST Hall. Bonus Fungus. That's an awesome name. Thank you for the lemon there. James Huff Dixie Doe. PMC 2020. Divine. Cali Kit Kat. Check cables, Adam. Been an issue since you moved. Well, that's the thing. Nobody has problems normally. I mean, we've been here for a year. Let's see here. Was on YouTube for a while and then was better. That's good. Chris just followed. Thank you so much. WW West. You guys are all awesome. Thank you guys for sticking through that on D-Live. Kelly2334. Jen Lay Awake. Woot woot. Back over here. Lisa 7722. Solar Doberman. We've got Drake Hole. We've got Lady Lexi. We've got Above All 510. Thank you guys for putting up with that. I don't know. We might be having an outage, and in that case, we might just drop it out. I don't want to do that, so we'll just keep going and see what happens. As far as that goes, we have all sorts of Folks, M. Stager, thank you for being a new subscriber over on YouTube. Mr. Tapeworm, thank you for following. Red Cow 34, Morrow Girl, Molly Gordon. And as always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. You will get a shout out, and I will find you. Because this has been an awkward show for me. I appreciate you again. All the people that support. Let's just kick it. Let's see what we can get out here. We've got some more news. We're probably going to go right to the phones. I'm gonna let you guys know. Virgin Galactic is unveiling the interior cabin of its spaceship. I was going to go and show you the interior of this. Pretty crazy looking. But let me see if I can. I'll just show you the 22 minutes in. Just show you the quick screenshot of this. This is crazy looking. Okay, look at this. Let's see if we can. Okay. So this is the interior of the passenger space flights by Virgin Galactic. And then that's the cockpit. Is that not crazy? I mean, I know there's a lot of people that do not believe this will ever exist. They'll say the only people on that plane are people that we don't know, that, you know, do you know somebody? Who do you know that's actually been on this thing? Does it actually go to space? It, you know, again, I know that we have a lot of folks that, you know, some people will not watch my show, or they've said that they've unsubbed long ago because I talk about space stuff. I'm sorry. I've been fascinated with space stuff since I was a little kid. I'm never going to talk about space. Stop talking about space. Even if even if they came down and said the world is a piece of paper, it's completely flat, I would still talk about everything, including all of the theories that the opposite side has. The only problem I have with the FLAT Earthers is that some of them are just such, you know, jerks. They like you have to think the way they do, otherwise they just you can't. I can't talk to you. You're so stupid. That's the whole. And then in the same right, I'll see somebody say, "Oh, I can't believe, you know, this left-right paradigm." I'm like, but you're somebody who is literally cannot talk to somebody if they don't see the Earth the way you do. I don't understand that. One of them, you know, we've got mods, my mods, that are complete believer of flat Earth, and they have a whole science behind it why they believe it. That's totally fine. Share your science, share the way you believe it, and okay. But they say just because you talk about space that, you know, this, oh, you're so stupid. Why are you so rude? You know? And I'm not talking to anybody specific. It's happened a lot. Anybody who has a YouTube channel that talks about anything space related, or if it's news. See, I want to be following this. If they do passenger flights, I guarantee you people won't believe it. People will not believe these things are actually going up in space, or we will have something happen before they do. I don't believe it. I don't believe they're going to put us up in there and say, oh, look at, and then the Earth is this ball, right? I don't believe it either. Because I don't think we'll get to that point. I think we'll be blowing each other up before then. And then, again, you guys over in Florida, I'm praying for you guys in the next couple days. You guys need to be careful. Dex, do you want to talk about the, let's see here. Hold on. Before you go.
Wait.
Let's see here. Got something on there. Something is running here. Let's see.
On board with the inclusion of a lot.
Let's see. Oh, it's that. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, Dex, do you have anything to say about the Florida storm? You were obviously closer in Georgia, so that kind of hits close to home.
Well, hey, Adam. Yeah, I think, you know, what we're seeing already this year is that the tropical storms are seeming to be a little bit different than they've been in prior years. And so I'm kind of curious how the season's going to turn out. I guess we're now in the thick of it or starting into it. We've now got this, you know, one potential hurricane. It's actually a tropical storm, but it's, you know, obviously it's got a clear path to become, and obviously lining up directly at Florida. So we'll have to watch it just like all things. But the season, I have a sneaking suspicion that the season is going to be more different in probably a more intense way than we've seen in the past. I don't know why, but a lot of things have just been different with weather. Whether it was the sands, hurricanes hitting Hawaii, right? So yeah, we've got some interesting weather going on.
That is for sure. And if you guys are in Florida, if you have video of storms, or if you are actually showing something off, if you have video that you want us to see of the sky, anywhere, either call in live to the show so we can show it off, or you can actually go to marfooglenews.com and contact either one of us at adam@marfooglenews.com or Dex, DEX, at marfooglenews.com. All right, and then to get back to it, let's see here. We've got, okay, first off, obviously this is missing notifications. Make sure to go to marfooglenews.com. You can actually sign up for our own notifications. You don't have to rely on YouTube or DLive. DLive is not bad at all. I haven't had too many problems with DLive, but YouTube has bad notifications. Maybe it's because people have 200 subscriptions, so they just can't get them all out, or something like that. I don't know. Or they just don't like some content. But if you guys want to support us in a different way, you guys should be protecting yourself with a virtual private network. This is something you download. It literally is simple as turning on a light switch. You turn it off and on. You can pick what country you want to place yourself in, and then when you are online, it looks like you are there. That really does protect you from the bad guys, from getting your IP, from tracking you, from doxing you, from all over. It's just in general good. But not only that, it works on mobile devices, on laptops, so you can protect you, your kids. So if your kids are online and stuff, you can kind of separate them and make sure nobody's hacking into your phones, into your stuff, into your cameras, into your Ring cameras or whatever you may have. So again, go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Out of all the things that we do affiliate with, though, I would highly recommend, again, making sure to go check out the EMP Shield. At this point, it's getting crazy. Hurricane Center Eyes system with 90% chance of development. So we'll see what happens with that. It's obviously going to be a big deal. We got most of that out with Jacob. It literally does look like we are having failure after failure. It looks like, by the way, in the background, I've been doing the internet. Dex, I don't know how many callers we have, but you might want to.
Yeah, I've got two at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, Adam, I'm looking at the frame rate, and
don't take any more.
It's just getting crushed left and right.
Let's take those two callers. Okay. I'm looking at my end, and it looks like we have a major outage where we're at. So right. We're barely on. I don't know how we're still on. Thank God we are.
Yeah.
I appreciate all of you guys that have supported this is not a show you donate during. Don't produce a show that is quality. Don't feel like you have to donate, okay? Thank you guys for supporting us. Okay. Let's see here.
So you want to go ahead and get the first two callers on?
Let's get them on. And
okay, the first up is Dan. So I'm going to go ahead and get Dan on. Dan, you are live on Marfoogle News.
Dan, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. So what are you calling about today? It looks like we have you talking about, let's see here.
Planet X.
Yes, and you have a video here. Is this your video or is this somebody else?
They are all mine. Everything I post in the Planet X, they're all my videos.
Okay, let's see here. All right, and then what are we looking at? This is a 3-minute and 12-second video.
Yeah, you just pass through. I use my phone to magnify the video I take. I have the original, the first one, and then because every time I try to post them, they look like they get blurry. And I'm not that good with posting videos. Anyway, For the last couple of years, I follow, a lot of people with Planet X, and I was kind of, let's see if we can, that video, my first video actually I catch, it was, looked like a large object with stripes, and in like 11 o'clock have like a moon, and it was covered with kind of cloud and debris.
So I'm looking at this, and I'm trying to make sure that I see. It's going to be a little bit delayed. Is it like a shape of something in the clouds, or is it like a? I think I see what you're talking about, but then at the same time,
yeah, go look. You see it like
right here.
5 o'clock when the video starts, like 4 or 5 o'clock. You can see it start to see it. I have pictures of the objects traveling, and then you can see the planes try to chemtrail it.
Okay, try not to say that word. That word gets a little wiki under our video and gets us deranked.
All right. They try to put that stuff in the air.
Look at this. So right behind this plane fart here, this is the object they're talking about. Do you guys see it at home? It's a little bit harder to see, but I do see what he's talking about.
When you see the original, actually you can freak out because it's so clear, and you even can see the clouds around it. And that object come with the moon. Like if you look at object like 11 o'clock, that object have a moon too. And over that object, like 5, 6 planes, non-stop.
I get exactly what you mean. And again, one of the big theories is, if you did not know this, and there are some people that are just kind of getting into this, that those trails, which they say are condensation, but condensation that lasts 5 hours and turns into clouds, is that they are covering up something in the sky. So say if you've ever noticed at sunset, they're always there and it's always covering up, because they believe that when you look at sunset or sunrise, when you're looking off to that direction, that is when you would see something. Just as in seeing Neo-wise, you see it at that specific time because the sun is shining on it. Some believe that they are doing these trails to cover up whatever is behind it, and that there is some sort of huge planet.
And I could see for the last year Venus all day long, like from sunset to sunrise, even in the middle of the afternoon, like 2, 3, 4 o'clock, you can still see it with the naked eye. You don't need the telescope too.
I do see what you're saying. I hope you guys... So we're going to end up linking this video. It's not a cloud, though. It's not moving. It's been there the whole video. That is pretty creepy, actually. Yeah, that's spooky.
Yes, an object coming in different videos when it's closer or far away from, depends in space. Like sometimes look like the moon and sometimes look like it's small, far away.
All right. Well, Dan, thank you for sharing this video. What we're going to do is we're going to connect everyone here via our website to this video so they can go check it out. This is Dan Boda. He's only at 9 subscribers. We can easily change his 9 subscribers to 1,000. That's if you guys like videos trying to catch Planet X. Again, you can go over and say hi. I will actually pop in and I'll say, hello, Foogle fam. And you guys can reply here and I'll read it later.
I appreciate it, and you guys have a good night.
All right. You have a great night, Dan. Thank you so much for sharing your video. Boom. All right. Dex, if you want to pull in who is behind, let's see.
Yes, I got it, Adam. We have Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law, what is going on?
Murphy's Law, you are live on Marfoogle News.
Hi, Adam. Thank you, Dex. Adam, I sent in a picture and I don't know if Dex is going to be able to bring it. There was like a weird light shining. We had a cool rainbow, and it was about maybe 8:15, so the sun was down in the west, and you could see the tops of the trees lit up from the rainbow.
Oh,
and it
cool.
was a full one, front yard, backyard.
Okay, so this is Murphy's Law. You've been around for a very long time. You've been Foogle fam since practically the beginning. Thank you for sending these in. So this is a rainbow, but it almost looks like a bubble. It's kind of an odd-looking rainbow, actually. It's so thin.
I thought it was cool because when I came back to listen, I was a little behind in the show. Jacob had said something about a rainbow, and I'm like, doesn't that beat all? So I figured I would share it with the food app, but it was really cool because the sun was already down. The sun was not high up in the sky, and we've been having a weird storm. It's almost constant rumbling here in North Carolina. And it doesn't even seem like we're having normal lightning. It's just like the sky's lighting up, but you don't see no lightning bolt. So it's really a weird day. And, of course, after you had the issues that you had, I pretty much was like, hey, well, seeing how he's having problems, I am Murphy.
Specific, it looks like it's just one huge bubble, like something from space shining. That is, that's cool.
And I
pictures.
hear you dig that stuff.
I know.
mean, I wish that I had my better camera. That was just with the phone. But I just really thought that it was really cool looking.
Well, remember, try to tap your phone. Most smartphones tap on the object several times. I always take like 4 or 5 pictures of the same thing, and I tap because the focus. Now, the cell phone cameras are so good that it's possible to take bad pictures because they can go out of focus. They actually have an aperture. So, like, you have to get it on focus, otherwise it can get blurry. But no, I thank you for sharing the pictures, Murphy's Law. And then how are you doing?
I'm packing to leave and relocate and get the dogs out of here. Looking to buy some land somewhere, I don't know, and homestead it. And just get prepared for what's coming. Now, I spoke to Dex. There's a man's radio show that I happened to catch, and his name is it's called Unleashed, Jeremy Hansen. Now, the show he did was March 30th, 2018. Now, most people know me. I mean, I call in other shows or I'm a panel. Well, they clipped my wings. Somebody tried to blow up my BIOS chip again on my laptop that's only 9 months. So I'm not really able to do my lives right now. I mean, this is getting expensive. So far, this is the 3rd computer. And when I called into a show to expose what they were doing, that man's 2-week-old Lappy, exactly what I called in about, his BIOS fried, and that was the last call my old phone made. So I'm down 3 computers and a phone. I mean, trying to get information out there is getting hard. However, Unleashed, Jeremy Hansen, on March 30th, 2018. The title is Rump Executive Order WANTA, WANTA, HR 5404, gold back winning. Now, a lot of people know that when I'm in the chat rooms, I'll put down, yep, Executive Order, HR 5404, and I've been doing that for about a year. So what is HR 5404? Well, that's the gold back standard. What we're seeing right now, this virus, Fauci, Gates, okay, we're seeing the death rattle of the deep state. They're going down. Now, these are two. Now, the guy also did another show right after this, and I really, if you can get the links, I can always send a picture to Dex and maybe he can link them. But his next show was the 2nd of April, 2018. And again, it's Unleashed, Jeremy Hansen. And it says 3 trillion stolen. And in parentheses, Obama, Sentinel, and energy, end quote, deep state info control. So this goes over the trillions and trillions. I mean, how some of the administrations had actually sent 600 billion, supposed to be gold, but it was painted tungsten. So they have been stealing the wealth from people for so long. Now, JFK lost his life trying to go back to the gold standard. And I thought it was October, and it's not. It'll be January 2021. So now here's what I'm thinking about the shortages. Because ladies, if you go through housewares, if you notice, not a lot of pie pans, not a lot of dishes on the shelves. I mean, we knew about the food, and we kind of, okay, everybody's trying to stock up. Well, if you go down housewares and you start looking at that kind of stuff, you'll notice that is really diminishing. And I also did a show that the ports were empty. So I'm wondering, Mark, just wondering, if possibly, what if they're trying to empty out their warehouses, get rid of the old supplies? We know we're making deals with India, Mexico. So we're going to be getting supplies from other people. But what if they're trying to sell out all their old stock with the fiat money? Now we go to the coin shortage. What would you do if you were going to change the money system? You would take the old money out of circulation. Now, most stores closed down, so they didn't really need it. And the whole thing about the mint being closed, well, they just came out with a coin with 2 bats on it. So that don't make sense either. So I'm thinking maybe they're starting to take in the new coinage. Then maybe next month or a couple months, maybe it'll be dollar bills. Then it'll be 5. But I do believe that this is the death rattle, the riots, the protests. They're throwing everything at us, and they just want to make us miserable. And it's just going to get worse until election.
Well, Murphy's Law, you have a lot of people agreeing with you completely there. I want to thank you for calling tonight, and I want to thank you for sharing your pictures. I also have not seen about the housewares. I'm interested. I'm gonna go down and look at the different housewares, and I might even videotape it and try to match it up. Like she said this, and I have noticed there's been some weird things gone. One thing, and don't ask me why we have this, but we do have the easy cheese or whatever, the cans where you squirt the cheese on it. It's processed. It's horrible for you. Those have been gone for months and months and months. Not the Kroger brand, but the actual thing. Ever since the shelves were clear, now it's been 3 months of everything's been normal. But those have not come back.
Yeah.
It's just like they disappeared.
Yeah.
It's because it's one of those products that people can hold. But I mean, they're not even getting shipments of it. There's some things that have disappeared and have not come back. So I totally hear you.
Correct.
I want to thank you for calling in tonight.
When you look that up, it's actually the T-Rump Executive Order Wanta 5404. Now,
yes,
this guy really breaks this down. And I'll send, because I don't know how to send the link on my phone, but I'll send Dex a picture of the show. I really encourage people to watch. Phenomenal. And, I just got to put it all together. And there was one more thing. T-Man, in one of his little chit-chat talks, he said that I can make Americans rich, right? So not America, Americans. And then I started, thinking about, I keep things stored in my head, and then I'm like, oh. So we're now the largest exporter of oil. What if this whole universal basic income isn't a... What did Venezuela do? Venezuela made their people rich because they were a number one exporter of oil. So, okay, this is just maybe, but it could be done. All the oil that we would sell could basically go into a fund, and every American could get like a share. Now that's hopeful, you know what I mean? But it could be done. I mean, the only thing that ruined Venezuela was the fact that socialism got in.
Well, again, before we go too much into the deepest, darkest pits here of getting banned, I really do want to thank you for calling in. And Murphy, you've been around forever and ever, so thank you so much for continuing to be here and continuing to just, you've literally been here 3 years. So thank you so much, and thank you for your call.
Thank you. God bless Adam, and God bless our Foo fam.
Hey, bless you as well. We're all looking out for you. Bye-bye. Look at this. So this literally says to define the dollar as a fixed weight of gold, introduced during T-Man's second year. And that's what's kind of crazy about this. I mean, it sounds like he would, this has we've got to be kicking off some serious stuff here. Think about that. Every country that has tried to switch to that, other than the U.S., like all the Middle East countries that tried to do that, they don't want that. They don't want them having their own backed stuff. This being backed by gold. There's some big stuff behind this. I guarantee it. All right, Dex. Obviously,
that was a wild roller coaster. Some great information, and I hope all of this translates and gets encoded correctly up onto the platform so that everybody can watch it after the fact.
I recorded it, so I recorded from the second time down or something. So we'll see how that works out. Do you know what we're at total? What time frame? Are we past 2 hours?
Hang on, I can tell you. We are at 1:44. You got 15 minutes. Okay.
If we go past 2 hours, it actually only processes the first 2 hours, and then it starts you right off to start off. If we finish at 2 hours and 10 minutes, it will only process the last 2 hours, so it will just start the show for the next 12 hours, 12 minutes in. So no intro, just 12 minutes like, hey, missed the first 12 minutes of the show. It's the weirdest thing. So anyways, it's time to go. We're having real bad problems on our end. So I'm going to try to do a shoutro. I'm going to try to say thank you to all the people. Remote Chris, thank you so much. Says thanks for pushing on through. Murachan West, thank you for supporting. You can always write something there. Tower Bear, I want to go to space. I think that's what he did, emoji-wise. New people, Janae Montague, Christopher Swain, The American Truth. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, if you subscribe during a show, you will get a shout-out. Archives of Turth, is D-Live back now? LOL. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, you've had to go back and forth 3 times or something. Had to go to the tube to watch Super Duper Live. Tower Bear, thank you for being patient with us. Tim Huggins, thank you for following. Tammy English, hey, from South Carolina. Love the show, you and Dex. Big Jacob Israel fan. Keep going, you guys. We need you. Thank you, Tammy English. Archive the Truth. Love you, Jacob. Archive the Truth. I always say that. Deer Hunt Nature. Thank you, Adam. We've got M. Stager, Doc Bill. You guys all kick buttocks. Let's see here. Gone Girl 777, thank you. That's like 10 diamonds in a row, 20 diamonds. I don't even know what that is. The Patriots Corner, thank you for following. I appreciate you. 7 Ruby Rose, Renegade PD, I Love Jesus Forever. Kelly2334, thank you for driving up in a Ninja Guinea. I don't know why I did that. You know, it's awkward. Renegade PD, thank you. Divine 1122, stay awake. It's going to get crazy really fast. Tuck Pup says, late to show, we'll catch up later. Much love, y'all. Tuck Pup, that's okay. Don't worry about being late. That's appreciate you being here. Kishara, thank you for the ice cream. Thank you for the lemon. Renegade PD again, thank you guys. Bonus Fungus, I love that name. Thank you for the lemon. Getty Girl, thank you for following. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. Kelly2334, thank you for yet another Ninja Genie. If you get on his website, it's playing clearly. Says, I'm a warrior /C Ramirez. So our website was actually playing it clearly. You guys can always watch it from there. Now Kelly and I are diamond battling. LOL joking. Gone Girl 777. That is an accepted battle. That is an accepted conflict in this place. But you don't have to. Plain fart LMAO. I'm dead. Miss Jackson 906. Thank you. Yes, we called it plain farts for a while, and then I think they started putting Wikipedias under it, and it said a poof out of a plane. It actually, put plain fart, sometimes referring to CHEM trails. So now they even plain farts. Plain fart, plain fart, plain fart. Gone Girl 777, Foogle fam love, with yet again another Ninja Genie. Thank you. You guys have a great night. It is now time for a shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. Why is it zoomed in? How did it do that? I like to be the one. I like to have some fun. I know. I like the way that you Storm Maven, Cali 233 4 and Gone Girl 7 Ordinata. Got to bring that big data. Cali 233 4 and no Miss Jackson 906 and Army Gina. Then I get PD now. Gotta bring that dice now. Gotta do it like die. I did it. Like this biggest family. Gone Girl 77. Jenny will bring it now, and you know. Hey, Renegade PD, thank you. And more just silent. Thank you for being high. Bring it back and night shining. Motherfuckers, da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Welcome to Motherfuckers. We welcome da-da-da. Welcome to Marfoogle. We welcome you. Welcome to Marfoogle News. 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 We welcome you. I've got that Gunga 77. Got to bring it back now. Just do it just like that now. I've got that Gunga 77. Just do it just like that now. I just tell you I've got to be exactly what they know you. Bella pack
like a dollar. Da 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 da. Bella pack a lala. Gonna bring that little Willie, bring it back and put it whoa. Gonna hang out Dixie Doe. Hey, hello, Julie J. Thank you for being here. Dove 1120 to just serious for 1 month now. It's on a 4-month substrate. All right. Now we've got about 5 minutes. Let's try to make a song out of the top contributors. Which, by the way, thank you, Doc Bill. The Coming Race at Wikisource. Thank you. Wolverine 30p, thank you for following. Deer Hunt Nature. All right. Let's get rid of this right now. All right. you really wanna, if 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 you really wanna. Gotta open up the date live, gonna bring it back around, we drive. Gotta give it up, beat life, wanna bring it back down and you know now, get up, hold up now. Gonna go back, host that now. Gonna bring like, oh, up now. Gotta love it just like that. Gonna bring it up just something just like, oh, and it doesn't show it. I know, there you gotta go it. Hey, young girl, renegade, PD Deviner. I'm gonna bring it back like a Joe Schmo. I'm about to do it like I know. Gonna do it like this. True narratives. Bonus fungus on fingers. Gonna bring it on just like this. Just like this. If you really wanna. If you really wanna. Drop frames. Drop frames. Gotta go with Jenny J. Bring it back like a Pussy Woo. Gotta go like a Dixie Doe. Gotta go with Mrs. Hard. Gonna bring it back and I hear you hard. Just like a hot wired barb. Oh, yeah. If you really wanna. 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 Love you guys. Have a good night. If we missed anybody, we're going to be putting them on the next show. If you don't